Dan Sullivan with Benjamin Hardy. The Gap and the Gain.
Today, we're diving into a topic that's been misunderstood for centuries: happiness. You've probably heard that famous line from Thomas Jefferson, "The pursuit of happiness." But here's the thing. It suggests that happiness is something outside of us, something we need to chase. And most of us still think this way. We often believe that reaching certain goals, a big promotion, a pay raise, or the perfect family, will finally make us happy. But here's the catch. Once we achieve these things, the happiness we expect doesn't really last. Why? Because our goals keep moving. We're always looking for the next thing, and that leaves us feeling unfulfilled. But what if I told you that happiness isn't something you have to chase? That you can choose it right now, no matter where you are in life. In this video, we'll break down exactly how to shift your mindset and stop searching for happiness in external things. We're going to show you how to take control and experience true fulfillment right now. Let's get started.
Chapter 1. Take control of your own happiness.
Dan Jansen is one of the best speed skaters in the world. In 1984, when he was only 16, he competed in the Winter Olympics and nearly won a medal. Almost, but not quite. 10 long years later, terrible luck plagued him. Despite his brilliance, he still failed to win a gold medal at the Olympic Games. In 1994, Jansen thought he would give him one last chance in Lillehammer, Norway, but he underperformed in what used to be his strongest races. Soon, there was only one race left, the 1,000-meter sprint. Jansen knew his chances of winning were slim. But instead of being sad about another imminent loss, he brought a different attitude to the event. As he took his place at the starting line, he thought about everything he had won during his career. He thought about the coaches who generously guided him, the places he saw, and the tremendous satisfaction he received from skating. Jansen decided to end his last race in the Expression to dedicate his life to the world of speed skating. This was to be his farewell to a long and fulfilling career. So he walked away with a big smile on his face. And this turned out to be the best series of his career. Jansen won the race, breaking a world record in the process. His positive thoughts produced a positive outcome. Many high achievers find it difficult to embrace this mindset. They believe that suffering is necessary for motivation. Here's how his thinking operates. If you're overly content with your life, you won't be motivated to succeed. But that's not true at all. In fact, numerous studies have shown that you actually do better when you're in a positive mood. You're more confident, think more creatively, and adapt better to changing circumstances. On the other hand, when you're feeling stressed and negative, you go into survival mode. That kills any creative lateral thinking. Additionally, it leads to a loss of enjoyment at work and a decline in internal motivation. Jansen was so successful because he no longer had to win in order to feel happy or fulfilled. Of course, he wanted to win, but his happiness was internal. When you seek happiness outside of yourself, you give up all your power. Life becomes a treadmill of constant rushing to get the things you think you need. But you don't need anything or anyone to be happy. You can now choose happiness by learning to appreciate your life for what it is. Chapter 2. Stop comparing yourself to others. Have you ever scrolled through Instagram, feeling intensely jealous of your friend's holiday to Thailand or your cousin's sumptuous wedding? Then you're behaving exactly how the creators of platforms like Facebook and Instagram want you to. Social media design constantly encourages you to compare yourself to others. Its purpose is to create the sense of FOMO, fear of missing out on all the things you think the others do. In fact, the purpose of these platforms is to create a sense of inadequacy in your life. Their purpose is to create a gap in your life, making you feel that it doesn't align with the ideal. Why do social media sites engage in such practices? Well, if you feel like you're missing out, you're likely to start buying things to fill that void. In other words, social media platforms manipulate your mental well-being in order to make you a more valuable consumer.
The key message here is to stop comparing yourself to others.
The truth is that comparing yourself to other people is futile. It causes you to yearn for external symbols of success, like a big house or a flashy car. But no purchase, however expensive, can really nourish you. The only thing that can make you feel content and fulfilled is living up to your own internal standard of success. But what is this standard? If you don't have an immediate answer, you're not alone. Here's an educated guess. When you were in school, parents or teachers probably never asked you what you valued. Nobody wanted to know how you, personally, judged success. The focus was almost certainly elsewhere. Perhaps the focus was on standardized tests or winning that soccer match. As an adult, you have the unique opportunity to become self-determined. You get to decide for yourself what really matters. Please reflect on this and list 10 things you see when you're successful. Remember that your list won't be the same as anyone else's. And that's the whole point. Does your version of success look like having enough time with your family? Or is it about your flexibility to travel wherever you want to? Make sure that your list is as specific as possible. Next time a new job or other opportunity comes your way, ask yourself, does this meet the requirements on my list? If the answer is no, then the opportunity, despite its prestige, isn't for you.
Chapter 3. How your view of life shapes your reality.
Here's something you might not know. Your thoughts have the power to influence your physical health and even your longevity. One study demonstrated this by examining an unusual cohort, nuns. The researchers analyzed the letters of acceptance that 180 would-be sisters wrote to their future convents when they were young women. And guess what? There was a direct relationship between the tone of these letters and the life expectancy of the nuns. Those who described themselves positively lived an average of 10 years longer than nuns whose letters were negative. 90% of this positive group survived to at least 85, compared to only a third of the nuns in the other group. The way people in their 20s described their lives, had a huge impact on the rest of their lives.
The key message here is how you view your life determines how you live.
The mind-body connection is well documented. Unlucky people are less resistant to viruses and take more time off work. On the other hand, those who have a positive attitude can improve their health without changing their behavior. For example, one study worked with a group of 84 women who cleaned hotel rooms for a living. The study informed half of the group that their cleansing activities were beneficial and could enhance their health. The control group, the other half, received no information at all. After 4 weeks, the group that received the positive news lost weight and lowered their blood pressure. The others saw no improvement. If you perceive your life negatively, you are living in the GAP. You become self-critical. You feel that your life is not satisfactory enough. This affects your body. It makes you chronically stressed, angry, and anxious. For years to come, the effects of GAP thinking will overwhelm and exhaust your system. But there is an alternative to living in GAP, and that is living in Doan. This means that you give yourself credit for the progress you've made and value every experience. Viewing life positively will make you happier and healthier. But how do you start to really live in JN? Well, it takes practice. First, recruit trusted people in your area to be accountability partners. It is his responsibility to inform you whenever he thinks about GAP again. Another thing you should do is practice the game mentality. For example, you can do this by listing your past accomplishments or reflecting on what you learned from an uncomfortable situation. Over time, a gained perspective will become as commonplace as a GAP once was.
Chapter 4. Tracking progress and celebrating achievements.
Rosie is a girl with a severe brain disorder called lissencephaly. Doctors told her parents she would never learn anything new. But thanks to hours of work with her dedicated physical therapist, Rosie has proved them wrong. In just 1 year, he learned to walk on grass and other uneven surfaces. In fact, her confidence has grown to such an extent that everyone has completely forgotten about her past issues. This change is the reason her therapist keeps detailed notes and schedules regular meetings with clients, including Rose's parents. When you consciously celebrate your progress, everyone becomes more motivated to keep going.
The key message here is don't forget to track your progress and celebrate your achievements.
It's easy to forget your remarkable achievements, as they will soon become normal. The human brain actually has a built-in memory. Once you master a new skill, your brain allows you to use it subconsciously on autopilot. Too often, you don't even realize you're doing something new. That's why it's essential to keep detailed records of your progress. Keeping a journal allows you to record the challenges you encounter and their solutions. Reading your journal is a wonderful way to gauge your progress. Many people make the mistake of measuring their progress against an ideal future they imagine. But that's a recipe for disappointment. The future hasn't happened yet, so it's not real. But the past is. When you compare your specific results to the past, you can really understand how far you've come. Take a moment to reflect on where you were in your life 10 years ago. How did you spend your time? What do you think was important? What happened in those years? Make a detailed and specific list of everything you have accomplished during that time. Make sure you don't just include progress in terms of material wealth or social standing, but also focus on how your mindset has evolved. Have there been difficult or stressful events that have taught you valuable lessons? What were those lessons? Now repeat the exercise and look at the progress you've made over the last 3 years and even over the last 90 days. Doing this exercise consciously will fill you with confidence and motivation. It will also give you a clearer idea of where you want to go.
Chapter 5. Optimize your last hour for success.
You may not know it, but the time before bed is one of the most important hours of your day. How you spend this time impacts your sleep and productivity for the next 24 hours. But most people waste those 60 minutes mindlessly flipping through their smartphones. Smartphones are known to overstimulate the brain at night, making it more difficult to fall asleep. So if you use your phone before bed, chances are you'll wake up feeling groggy and anxious. But that's not all negative news. With just a few changes, you can turn that hour before bed into a wonderful opportunity to change your sleeping habits and plan your days better.
The key message here is use the last hour of the day to celebrate your victories and plan future successes.
It all starts with putting away your smartphone at least half an hour before bed. Instead, grab a pen and a piece of paper and think about the day you just had. In particular, think of 3 wins of the day and write them down. Remember that these are your subjective earnings, nobody else's. If doing laundry is usually a burden for you, then a load of laundry is definitely a win. Once you've written down your accomplishments, think of 3 victories you want to achieve tomorrow. This simple practice will transform your days and nights. Tracking your gains for the day puts you in a game mentality and boosts both your confidence and well-being. This makes sleep easier. When you clearly articulate your goals for the day ahead, your brain can begin to process them subconsciously, allowing you to wake up with a sense of purpose. Instead of just reacting to everything that comes your way, you have a clear and actionable plan. This practice also trains your mind to seek why-in throughout the day. Everyone has selective attention. This allows you to ignore most of the world's stimuli and focus only on what's important, interesting, or relevant. Well, why not use this feature to your advantage? As you learn to focus on the 3 wins, your brain will automatically start looking for more and more victories. This will boost your confidence and give you more energy to continue pursuing your dreams. Keep it up, and soon getting out of bed won't be a challenge anymore. Instead, you'll start the day excited and ready to win big.
Chapter 6. Turning setbacks into wins by power of psychological flexibility.
September 29, 2008 was a life-changing day for Howard Getson. He lost $2 million in the stock market overnight. Getson was shocked. It seemed like his trading had gone completely out of control. However, he continued to contemplate the situation. He must have suffered a terrible loss that day. But not everyone had. Conversely, some traders achieved significant financial gains overnight. Why did their strategies work and his didn't? What could I learn from you? Getson contemplated the situation throughout the night, and by morning, his perspective had completely transformed. Rather than fret over his loss, he now saw the experience as an opportunity for change. Getson engineers began developing innovative new software that used AI to adapt to changing market conditions. The $2 million loss could have haunted Getson for the rest of his life. But he didn't let that happen.
The key message here is you can turn any seemingly negative experience into a win by restating what happened to you.
Getson demonstrated a characteristic known as psychological flexibility. It's the ability to manage your emotions and proactively shape the meaning of your experiences. Mental flexibility allows you to bounce back after a setback. When things don't go as planned, accept what happened and find innovative ways to accomplish your goal. Not everyone is born with psychological flexibility, but everyone has the ability to develop it. This journey begins with you taking responsibility for everything that happens to you, good or bad. You cannot control the whole world around you, but you can choose how you react to it. One of the co-authors, Dan Sullivan, developed a powerful exercise in his training practice that he calls the Experience Transformers. It's a thought experiment to help you understand what's happening to you. Here's how it works. Take out a pen and paper and answer the following questions. What did you learn from this experience that might help you in the future? What would you like to do differently next time? And what are you thankful for? Exercise gives you the space to process the experience instead of running away from it, and it allows you to create your own narrative of what happened to you. You'll be able to face the world head-on and choose what you want. In this way, every experience can be a source of gain.
Final summary.
Thanks for watching. If you've been listening to the key ideas from The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy, here's the big takeaway. Happiness isn't something you need to chase. It's something you can choose right now. Rather than comparing yourself to others, focus on your own definition of success. Remember, you can't measure progress against a future ideal. That future is always changing. Instead, look back at how far you've come. Celebrate those achievements, no matter how small. This is called gain thinking, and it's a powerful way to boost your energy and motivation. If this mindset doesn't come naturally to you, don't worry. Like any skill, it can be practiced with simple exercises. Here's a practical tip. It's okay to feel down when things don't go as planned. Give yourself 5 minutes to fully experience that disappointment, to be in what's called the gap. Use that time to feel sad, frustrated, or even angry. Let it all out. But after those 5 minutes, make a conscious choice to shift. Reflect on what you've learned from the experience and recognize the progress you've made. By doing this, you're not only embracing the tough moments, but also transforming them into fuel for your personal growth.
If you found these insights helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. What's one moment in your life where you shifted from the gap to the gain? Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.